Who were the authors of the Gospels? The Gospels are the first 4 books of the New Testament in the Bible, and they tell the story of Jesus Christ's life, teachings, death, and resurrection. Each Gospel is named after its traditional author: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Here's a simple explanation of who these authors are believed to be, along with relevant Bible verses and examples. Authors of the Gospels. 1. Matthew. Matthew, also known as Levi, was one of Jesus' 12 disciples. He was a tax collector before he followed Jesus. The Gospel of Matthew is particularly detailed about Jesus' teachings and fulfills many Old Testament prophecies about the Messiah. 2. Mark. Mark, also known as John Mark, was a follower of Jesus and a companion of the Apostle Peter. His Gospel is considered to be the first written and is the shortest. It is thought that Mark wrote down the teachings and stories Peter shared about Jesus. 3. Luke. Luke was a doctor and a close friend of the Apostle Paul. He wrote both the Gospel of Luke and the Acts of the Apostles. Luke's Gospel includes many details about Jesus' birth and early life, as well as parables and healings. 4. John. John, also a disciple of Jesus, is referred to as the disciple whom Jesus loved. His Gospel focuses more on the spiritual and divine nature of Jesus and includes detailed theological reflections, such as Jesus being the Word of God. Relevant Bible verses. Matthew 9:9, bold for emphasis. As Jesus passed on from there, he saw a man called Matthew sitting at the tax booth, and he said to him, "Follow me." And he rose and followed him. Luke 1:3-4, bold for emphasis. It seemed good to me also, having followed all things closely for some time past, to write an orderly account for you, most excellent Theophilus, that you may have certainty concerning the things you have been taught. Examples. 1. Matthew's own story. In the Gospel of Matthew, Matthew writes about his own experience of being called by Jesus, showing his personal connection to the events he describes. 2. Mark's action-packed style. Mark often uses the word immediately and focuses on what Jesus did, making his stories fast-paced and exciting. 3. Luke's detailed descriptions. Luke includes details about Jesus' birth in Bethlehem, offering insights into Jesus' early life and the people around him, like Mary and Joseph. 3 main takeaways. 1. Each Gospel has a unique perspective. Just like different students in a class might write about the same event in different ways, each Gospel writer shares his unique view of Jesus' life. 2. The Gospels are foundations of Christian faith. These books are very important because they tell us about Jesus' life and teachings, helping Christians understand their faith more deeply. 3. Authors were close to Jesus and early Christians. The writers of the Gospels either knew Jesus personally or were close to those who did, which helped them share accurate and detailed stories about him. The Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John each provide a different view of Jesus' life, showing us the many sides of his story and teachings. This helps Christians and others learn about who Jesus was and what he did during his time on earth. Great gains. Father, grandfather, minister, missionary, deacon, elder, author, digital missionary, foster parents. Welcome to our family. https://jesusleadershiptraining.com/about us/